Hey, how's it going? Well, I think we're gonna go today. I wasn't planning on doing a podcast today on my birthday, but I figured, what the hell? Why not? Why don't I give this new mic that my wife just got me for my birthday a little bit of a test drive? I'm pretty excited about it. So let's just, I got an appointment coming up. I don't got much time. Let's go.
Who's a fat boy?
Yes, here we go. Here we go. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking of the new mic? This is the Shure MV7. This is, I'm always usually on an SM58. I love Shure mics. I've had my Shure SM58s for a really long time, along with my Blue Encore 200s. But this is the step up. It is, the in-between the 58 and the SM7B. The SM7B is what you see in every podcaster's video podcast, what Mark Maron uses in his home studio, what Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on. It's an old mic. It's a very old mic, but a very durable and fantastic mic, but it's also very expensive. And I wanted something that also had the capability of using USB, and that is what this mic has. So you can just plug it in. It has its own monitoring system in the mic for that, as well as a software program that you can tinker with the presets. I just love it. I love it. It's sounding crisp. It's sounding delish. So yeah, I'm happy with that. But moving on, okay. How is everyone doing out there? We are still in this crazy time, but it feels like, I don't know, we're getting more accustomed to it. You're seeing in pro sports now, people are getting COVID. When it first started, only 2 players on a basketball team got it, and then they shut down all of pro sports for about 5 months. And now it's just he's got COVID, he's quarantining, and we'll wait till it clears kind of thing, because everyone's vaccinated, so they're not getting super sick, I guess. But it is this weird stage that we're in where, the cases are going up again. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we're accustomed to the drudge of this whole thing. So one thing that's changed for me is, I've given the government its time. I've given healthcare workers the time to get the N95 shit worked out. It looks like that stuff, the shortage, I don't know if it's still there. I don't think it is, because stores are starting to sell N95 masks to you now, and that's what I rock when I go into stores or big areas. I don't fuck around with the cloth things anymore. I wear the N95. Also, I got a big ass head, okay, and the masks that go around my ears, they hurt, so I don't give a fuck. I get the ones that go around your head, and it's much more comfortable for me, and I know I'm better protected. So yeah, I'm full on the N95 train now. And if, almost 2 years in, if they haven't gotten their shit figured out, sorry, it's a dog eat dog world out there, as you can tell. Talk about it. I'm going to try not to talk about things too long, because I don't have a ton of time, as I do have it's my birthday. Yeah, I made a massage therapy appointment. I've been, I'll get to the fitness update. I've got some sore muscles, because obviously I've been working out a lot this week. But, before I get to that, let's talk about, Britney Spears is free. I don't know if you've been following the Britney Spears story, how she's been under a conservatorship for about 13 years or so. And, they usually only do that to people who have dementia, who can't make their own decisions because they're mentally not adept anymore. And it just, the more information that comes out about it, just seems really insane. Really insane. It seems like she was really held prisoner. And she's worked hard just as much as anybody else in showbiz. She's got she has the right to blow her money and do crack and whatever, burn out, die like they do in Hollywood. If that's what's going to happen to her, that's what's going to happen to her. But she should be allowed to do it. I don't think she's She doesn't have dementia or anything like that. It all really stems from, and I know this, and I know her father. It was like the last straw was when, she got that picture coming out of Paris Hilton's car and, her vagina got flashed by the paparazzi, which is like, fucking gross that the paparazzi are doing that. It's not like she got out of her car and lifted up her skirt. She just wasn't wearing underwear, and it turned into a huge thing. It wasn't a nice light. Let's put it that way. So I bet you he's just like, we got to get her roped in. We got to get her tied down because she's going to be doing all kinds of crazy things. And I would prepare his ill. You know what? They're more like, they'll be more like that because they're from like the sticks of, New Orleans kind of thing. They got more of that kind of Creole kind of thing going on. She don't be like that. So anyways, Britney Spears is free, and that's a good thing. Congrats, Britt. I know you listen to the podcast. It's one of the only pro fast food fitness podcasts, even though we know it's bad. We know it's bad, And speaking of which, before I get to the birthdays, just to say, I think I talked about how I had a McDonald's audition, and they made me go and buy the McDonald's burger. I had to go to a McDonald's before the audition. And, I almost had a falling down moment because I got there, my audition was in the morning, and I had to get the burger for, I had to get it before 11. And I thought that burgers you could get 24 hours a day, just like the breakfast sandwiches now. Is that not a thing? Did they change that? So the woman's like, no, we don't have lunch yet. And I said, well, when is lunch? And she said, in 4 minutes. And I go, okay, so what should I do? Should I just go around and come back in 4 minutes? She's like, yes. So I did. And I got the dumb burger, came back, did the callback with it, did not get the commercial. Unbelievable. I knew that I was going to get it. They do not like people that look even remotely like they actually eat fast food in their commercials. So they were going to give me $15 for doing, getting the burger. And they're like adding it on top of the fee that I get for doing a callback. Get the callback check. There ain't no $15 on it. And then I'm in this position where I'm like, I don't care about the $15, but I do need to set an example and, let them know that, like, hey, you said you were going to do this. I mean, this would have been hard for people who didn't have a car or lived close to McDonald's. So, it cost even more than that to get the stupid meal. And my agent fought with the union to get me $15, and I got that check. And guess what? It's in the bank. The $15 is back. And, I just bought the one burger. Obviously, I didn't get anything else. So I think at the time I got my wife some stuff too. Like it ended up working out, We were like thick as thieves. So anyways, let's get to the birthdays, because today's my birthday. I'm 37 years old. Happy birthday to me first. And then I'll just say, I look on IMDb for this stuff because they post it real nice, and they seem to have like a hierarchy of fame based on which slide these people are based on. But, I've had a lot of issues with IMDb over the years. When I first started out 15, 16 years ago, I added just a couple of trivia things just to show that hey, I may not be getting a ton of TV work that shows up on the main list and the main resume part, but, I do work in commercials and whatnot. So I added one thing about that. And then, I won a silly award in community college, and that's what it is. It was a community college award. And I feel weird about it. I've been asked about it sometimes at auditions, and I don't feel like talking about it all the time anymore because it's stupid. And I just wanted to get this trivia removed, and they will not budge. I tell you something, they do not like to get that shit removed. So I had to pour my heart out in an explanation and be like, look, it's me. I'm the actor. I know there's a human on the other end of this line. And, I just I added this stuff when I was younger, and I really would like it removed. I just think that, I just really want you to respect my wishes if that's possible. Now, that was the time before that, I did threaten legal action. I was like, I will get my lawyers to send you a cease and desist. I don't even know if that is the appropriate thing to send, but that didn't work. They were just like, I guess rolled their eyes and were like, oh, we don't care. But I don't understand why it's so difficult. And they ended up removing one. But the dumb award is still there. So yeah, if you need to ask me about it, I'll tell you about it. And I'll probably tell you like why you shouldn't get into acting and stuff like that. But it is exciting to see who shares a birthday with me today. I always get excited about this because, it's just fun to think of the people going through those same birthday feelings because we all have the same ones. And it's fun to see who is going through them with you in the famous world. Big Scottish man, proud Scottish man Gerard Butler is 52. Remember him from 300. He apparently is a really nice guy. I've heard people that have worked with him. It's apparently a dream. Steve Zahn is 54. I love sharing a birthday with this guy. I think he's one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood. He's so funny. Watch The White Lotus. He's good in that. Gary Marshall, the late Gary Marshall. He would have been 88? Oh my God. He died in 2016. I would love to see what Gary Marshall said about the pandemic. Whoopi Goldberg is 66. She's a senior citizen. She's still rocking the desk at The View. Good for her. Good for her. Chris Noth is 67. You know him as Mr. Big. Mr. Big on the old Sex and the City. I think he's going to be in the little reboot there too. So yeah, is that a dick joke? Was his character a dick joke? Was he this like big sloppy dick that she had to nickname him because of it? I don't feel like did they ever talk about that on the show? I don't know. It's been a long time. This one really got me excited. Jose Maria Yazbek. You know who that is? You probably don't know him. He's 51. If you watch Narcos Mexico, he played Amato. It's a great show. I'm obsessed with cartel reenactments and stuff like that. So I love Narcos Mexico. They just had their third season of it, and it was, I don't know why, it's so compelling to me. It's heavily subtitled because there's a lot of Spanish, but he did a great job playing a drug dealer who was a real person named Amato. And, they always come to a demise, these guys, and I was shocked by his demise. I really thought he was going to make it out. What else we got here? John DeLancey. John DeFucking-Lancey. I can't believe he shares a birthday with me. You know who he is? If you're a fucking nerd, if you're a little fucking Star Trek nerd, he's Q. He was Q in Next Gen. He's friggin' 73. That's how old Q is now. Has he been in the new reboot? I feel like he should make an appearance. I think he did in the Picard show. I'm not really sure. Adele Lutz, 73. Kim Director, 47. Neil Flynn, 61. I think he was from Scrubs. Best. And The Middle. I remember him on The Middle, which was a little sitcom with... Everybody Loves Raymond wife, Deborah. Her show. That show was on a while. That show was on like 9 or 10 seasons, for Christ's sake. And then, I don't really recognize anyone else, but I'll just run off a couple more. Steve Lem, he's 53. He kind of looks like Colin Jost, but he's not. Art Malik, I think I definitely remember Art Malik. He's 69. I swear that he was a bad guy in a classic like Schwarzenegger movie. See? I was right. He was in True Lies. He was the bad guy in fucking True Lies.
Fitness update.
Okay, so let's go to the fitness update. We have to get, let's keep the show rolling, Matt. Come on, you got to keep it rolling. You're at 15 minutes almost. I have been working out pretty steady this week. I'm, diet-wise, it's been a little nuts. I've had some bad days. Let's just say that. I've had some days where, trying to watch the saturated fat right now, it just seems like it's so easy to inhale and you get too much of it. And also, trying to watch the sugar and stuff. We'll talk about some culprits of sugar in the next segment. But I've been working at a lot of the 5 days already that have happened. Monday to Friday, I've worked at 4 days. So I'm really happy about that. And this is what I bought. Okay, so I wanted to get a barbell, right? So I have some weights, I have some plates, and I've been using them with dumbbells, and I do like dumbbell presses. I do like shoulder presses. I do, all kinds of stuff like that. But I was like, oh, I really want to get like a barbell so I can do like proper squats. I'm trying to get back into squats. Squats always make me feel kind of sick because they work your entire lower body and your core as well. So a lot of shit's getting engaged at once, and I always feel a bit gross after it, but I'm getting into it. So I got this barbell, but I got a cheap one. It was only like $40 off of Amazon. And what it does is it's like 2 dumbbells, and then it has a connector thing that you can put in the middle, and it's got like a nice cushion on it. So if you're doing squats, it can go behind your neck. So I got that. And I've been doing that now. I've only really worked out once with it because it came yesterday or the day before. But anyway, loving it. Did arms and legs yesterday with it. And yeah, did the squats. I did some curls. I did some skull crushes on my bench for my traps or for my triceps, sorry. And it was... I just like having more stuff, but you try not to get too crowded, but I love having, more accessories and stuff that I can use. So pretty happy with that. Taking today off for my birthday, and then, going for a massage in about 30 minutes. And then, can have a couple of friends up. Mr. Adam Kennedy from episode 2, Growing Up Skinny, is in town. And, we're going to do another, there's going to be probably 3 episodes in this month at least, And, I'm more inspired now having the new mic. I'm excited about that. But also, we're going to get him on. First guest. He's staying here a bunch of nights. We're going to do a fucking podcast, Fat Boy, with a guest. I'm excited. Haven't done it in a long ass time. So look forward to that. But let's move on to some, health news.
Health news. News that is health related.
Okay, so we'll talk about a couple of things quickly here, and one is always amazing. Now, this one is about the fucking, if you're a fucking Canadian, this is the most fucking iconic fucking thing you can drink here, bud. It's the fucking double kind of fucking deal here. So I'm going to play a little vid for you from this dietitian that is talking about how much sugar and stuff and calories are in the drinks that we're, having every day with our caffeine. And, it's pretty mind-boggling how, sugar makes its way in.
Yeah, could I please have 1 medium double-double?
Okay. It's a Canadian classic. But turns out your Tim Hortons medium double-double is anything but.
It's got 4 teaspoons of sugar, plus the additional teaspoon from your dairy product.
Tim Hortons says its classic combination is designed to taste the same no matter what size you order. They use dairy and sweetener dispensers to ensure consistency in every cup. Liver specialist and gastroenterologist Dr. Supriya Joshi says our sugary caffeine fixes are a problem.
I think people are addicted to sweet, and it's leading to a healthcare crisis.
Especially when you consider sugar and calorie content. That medium double-double, well, it's similar to a caramel bar.
I think a lot of people sometimes will think just about the calorie standpoint, not factoring in also the sugar. Could I have a grande matcha green tea latte, please?
Okay, that's all I'm going to play of it. Isn't that friggin' insane? So the double-double, that is the iconic drink that most, I guess, Tim Hortons drinkers like to drink. I did, at a time in my life, drink a double-double. I don't think I did it every day, but, maybe I did put in sugar at home. I never put in 4 teaspoons of sugar, though, and that's apparently what's in a double-double. That's friggin' insane. But just to think that, the cream as well has a teaspoon. So it's like you're having 5 teaspoons of sugar with your double-double. That's not good. People have that multiple times a day. You're just getting, as I've said many times on this podcast, the human body is so resilient. It is amazing to see what we can handle before it, actually kills us. Even like if it makes us sick and gives us, terrible diseases like diabetes, we're still able to maintain it and work with it, which is just kind of an amazing thing about the human body. When I see old people, I just see, wow, you've just been hammered by so much shit. Your body has just been doing its best, and look at you on the other side. You did it. So yeah, I don't know. Think twice about that. I'm honestly trying to see if I can switch down. I'm going to try to wean myself off a bit to having just like a dab of cream. I don't have a ton, but I don't put sugar in my coffee anymore. Haven't done that for a long time. I think over 6 or 7 years now. It was a New Year's resolution, and guess what? I stuck with it, and now I can't go back. Having sugar in coffee makes me sick. Makes me fucking sick. So yeah, just keep a heads up on that, because yeah, the problem with the sugar converts to fat cells, and the fat cells get into your liver, and then the fat cells replace liver cells, and that's not good. You don't want a chubby liver, and we've talked about this before. I'm already dealing with some of that right now, so I gotta find ways to cut down on sugar, make sure I don't have a ton of that, which I feel like I'm good with, but you just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, folks. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is gyms versus home. Gyms versus at home is on the rebound. This is from the CNBC article that I found. Peloton or the gym, more people are choosing both, and what that means to the fitness industry. So because of the pandemic, people were working out at home. They were, buying their Peloton bikes for $2,500. They were reasoning with themselves financially, being like, well, I'm not going to the gym. I'm saving all this money here. Why don't I put that money into the bike? And as I've said before, I'm not really I'm happy for people that want to exercise more, but the Peloton is super expensive, and you have to pay for the classes and stuff, which is like another $40 a month. It's the subscription. That's where they get you, the subscription, because as I said, you're going to get these fucking things at a garage sale one day, and they've already now done a huge price slash on these bikes. I think they've taken off $500 to $700, which is pretty substantial, and I feel bad for the people that are paying, monthly for 64 months or whatever, and have interest at 30% because of their bad credit. Some people are doing that. That's pretty rough. But yeah, Peloton stock went up like 440% last year. And as well, you look at the gyms like Planet Fitness, that's like the really cheap gym that's everywhere. It only had a 4% gain. Amazing that it still had a gain. But, it's so easy to be like, oh, it's cheap, I'll just get it. And, the biggest thing with gyms for me, I've been to many gyms. I've been a member of many gyms. You go for a bit and then you don't go, and you feel guilty because you're paying a lot of money. But if you're at a Planet Fitness or something, you're only paying $5 or $10. Who cares, right? And that is a beautiful, beautiful business plan. I got to say, to have people that can just discard this, there's something about it mentally being a part of a gym too, which what I used to like, just knowing that, it's like you're in this fraternity of people that are trying, and, so it takes a lot more work if you're going to be doing it at home, but it seems like we're going to be in like a hybrid type of thing now where people are going to be doing both. And I think that means that the cheap gym, like Planet Fitness, this is my guess, is going to have a really, really big surge eventually. Like Good Life, no one's going to be wanting to pay $60 or $70 to go to the main gym anymore. They're going to want the cheap stuff, the fit for less garbage, because they just want to get in 1 or 2 times a week. But the only thing that brings people back, and for someone who used to work a Good Life, it's the classes. People love going to the classes. Most people that have memberships are doing it so they can have the classes. So there's that as well. And I just don't think people are fully comfortable yet with going back to being huffing and puffing around other people. But that should change, and hopefully shit doesn't get shut down again. You know what I mean? Okay, so I got 3 things I want to quickly talk about. Try to go through them fast here. You know how I like to work. It's fast. It's catchy. It's edgy. So the first thing I want to talk about, we didn't talk about it last week, but the Rust shooting. Now I'm talking about the Alec Baldwin murdered someone on a movie set, a Western. So already we're shocked that Alec Baldwin's doing a Western. Just don't feel like at this stage of his career anyone wants to see Alec Baldwin in a Western. But he was firing a gun and it shot and killed the director of photography, and the bullet went through her, and I guess the director was behind her and injured him. So he was hurt bad enough that he had to go to the hospital, and so it penetrated him as well. Maybe the bullet was in him. I don't know, but I think it blasted right through the DOP. She died. And, there's been all this talk about safe sets, about using guns, about like, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? And I will say, from someone that has been on a chaotic filming set before, and I have felt unsafe once where I thought I might get electrocuted and I didn't say anything. And, it's really tough to bring this giant machine to a halt for your own safety. And it's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And obviously, this isn't the same as that. This is just a bad chain of events that led to this accident. But I'm just saying that when you're working on these sets, you're, for me, being a smaller actor or something, it's very difficult to want to voice your opinions and go to a union liaison who's there for that purpose. I could have gone to the union liaison and gone, hey, I don't really feel comfortable here. And they would have to listen to them. So anyway, all I'm saying is it's a terrible thing. Sets are not as easy as you think. So they do have to be a well-oiled machine. And obviously this one wasn't, and doesn't look like anyone, or this thing is going to get completed, So the other thing, so the second thing, I'll just talk briefly about this. Didn't talk about it. I've wanted to talk about it for a couple weeks now, but the Chappelle special, it's very difficult for me because, Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite stand-ups. It seems like a lot of these hero stand-ups are just disappointing you in every turn now. You remember, I used to like Louis C.K. Now I feel weird about even thinking about him. But Dave, I watched his special, and I think it didn't hit me quite the same way as people that were like, he's being really transphobic and stuff. I think he's just, you can kind of see when comedians are like, I'm saying this because it's just going to piss you off kind of thing. Not that he fully believes it, but it's still like, it just doesn't help things when this community is under attack so much. And, turning them into a joke just seems kind of cheap and dangerous. And, he does refer to himself as a genius in it at one point. He uses a friend's quote to describe him as a genius of his craft. So, Dave, the material that I used to love, your old stuff, like you were making Sesame Street jokes. I know maybe it's racially insensitive, but you're making hilarious jokes about eating chicken and whatnot. And it just was very funny and well done. And if you're such a genius, you could probably lay off this community. You could probably not use your shows as this area of protest. It's just, why do that in your act? I just don't understand it. If you're so good, if you're such a genius, like, ignore all this stuff and, apologize or whatever to the community and just write some other stuff. Like, why are you so compelled to make trans a part of your act? It just seems lazy. And watching him now is just not the same thing. He's like he feels like a 65-year-old man that's grumpy and, he's too engaged with his own reverence, which is, I think, a problem with celebrity stand-ups is like, how do you know, like, people are they laughing at your jokes or are they just laughing at how excited they are to be seeing you, I think that would be a really hard thing. Last thing now, a true shithead, fuckhead of the week. Fuckhead of the week is a guy named Chris Sky. I don't know much about Chris Sky, but this video really like fucking irked me. He looks like a he looks like a circus freak, like someone who left he got out of one of the tents in the 40s. He's a bit of a pinhead looking fella. His eyes he's very stoned, I think. He's a leader of the anti-vax movement, but he's also a conspiracy theorist. So it's like he's way on the other side, way. And he recently like showed up he's got these veneers. Please, if you're going to get veneers, they can't be like ultra white and big and chunky. Like it just looks like he's wearing dentures. They don't sit in his mouth right. He looks fucking insane. He's spewing a bunch of crap about the virus and wearing masks and stuff like that. And it's a really unfortunate thing. But just listen to a bit of this fucking moron talk.
So here we are in Nanaimo. We came to Canadian Tire because a young lady got assaulted here last week. So we finished up the protest, and we're now here with over 100 mask-free people. You can hear them cheering. The RCMP is here. They walked us inside. They're here with other local police, and they're 100% supportive. And we are absolutely enjoying our freedom here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Everybody mask-free. This is insane. This is what we call freedom. This is what we call standing up for ourselves. Look at all these people. Look at everybody in here. Look at this, guys. This is freedom.
God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, my God.
Hey, young fella. You're doing a hell of a job. God bless you.
Get the fuck out of here. So that's Chris Sky. You got to see him. It's like all the ghouls have come out of their house. They all look like glassy-eyed and pallid and pretty white. I'd say the crowd's probably 98% white. I don't know what this guy is. He's just this is their leader, and it's fucking crazy. Yeah, and it is a problem. Like he did say, the RCMP they escorted him inside the Canadian Tire. And this is part of the problem, There's a lot of people in power and different levels of power that are stupid, and this is what we have to deal with. So while these idiots are running around Canadian Tire, putting the people who work there at risk, they're all unvaccinated too, I'm sure. And it's these idiots can have their fun. We do all the heavy lifting. And this fucking disaster just keeps going on and on and on. So I guess all I can say is when you're eligible, get your booster shot because you're going to fucking need it. All right. I can't believe I did this. I got the new mic, the MV7, the Shure MV7. I'm pretty fucking happy with it. I'll tell you that much. Happy birthday to me, November the 13th. Gotta get ready. I gotta go to the fucking thing-a-ding-a-ling, and see you in the next one.